Okay, well, I got the Mercury Comet running and I've got it backed out of the driveway under her own power. And the reason for this is I've got to get up in my loft here and I got to get that hood down. I've got a spare hood and this hood is going to Florida. I'm going on vacation and I'm going to drop this off at my buddy Michael's. Yeah, sounds good. Idling very nice today. Let's get that hood down. We'll load that in the Tacoma. And in a few days we'll get underway. We'll go to Florida. I'm going to bring this down to Michael. Michael's rebuilding a Mercury Comet just like mine. And he's helped me a lot in my build. Various odds and ends and anything I ever needed, he was right there. So his hood is trashed. I had two hoods, so I'm going to give him one of mine. Alright, let's get that down. Okay, well there it is. Get this repacked a little bit better and let's take this down to Florida. Alright, we'll check again once we get there. Okay, well it's a week later. We made it to Florida. I got the hood all strapped in. The trip went well. As you can see, we're in Florida. You can see the palm trees. Made it to the old condo building. That's where we're staying for the week. But right now, we're going to drive to Davenport. We're going to go see Michael. We're going to go check out the bare metal Comet. And we're going to give him this hood. Alright, let's get back on the road. So we made it to Michael's. Michael is rebuilding a Comet just like mine. There it is over there, and that's the hood we're bringing for him. I mean, it's got a couple little pinholes like I said, but it's way better than the one you had, correct?
It's 100% better than the one I have.
So you want this, correct?
No.
Deliver this from Nova. Kind of ironic to bring something from Nova Scotia, the land where cars brought out, and so we're bringing this to Florida. But anyway,
that's why if you can, you get engines from up north and cars from down south and put them together.
Exactly.
They don't wear out.
So this is the hood for his car. So we'll take a look at his car in a second. So this is Michael's place, and that's his channel, Mac Street Garage, correct?
Yes.
And it's very cool. He makes really cool videos. He's working on a 1962 Comet. It's a bare metal Comet. He also built that little shed there. Fell off the roof once.
Yeah,
so it's very entertaining.
A little finger off. I broke little finger sticks like this is your...
yeah.
I broke this one off.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah, that hurt.
So we'll take a look at that shed. Fell off the roof. Broke a rib. So anyway, all good stuff. So let's haul this hood out and we'll take a look at the car. Okay, well here's the 62 Comet, and the last time we saw this car was last summer. So as you can see, his hood was really trashed. So like I said, I had a spare one, so that's gonna go on this car. And so for now, we'll let Michael show us what progress and what work he's been doing.
Well, I really haven't made a lot of progress because it's either things to do in the house or things to do in the car, so you kind of have to go back and forth. But I did get it. I made those platforms to put the car up so I can work from underneath of it. I did a little experiment in a dry pour concrete in the front. It was cheap concrete that was been wet before, so it does work. I just need to be careful with that. I did put this door on the front. It's just basically two 4x8 sheets of I call it chipboard, but I know there's a good name for it.
Yeah, we call it chipboard.
But the only bad thing is it's about 75-80 pounds, and it takes and all I do is just set these poles underneath the corner, so when I want to put it down, I just knock them down. But I will put a hinge up there to make it safer. But,
so the little building is taking shape now. You've kind of built this around the car.
It's all covered from the elements, so I don't get wet.
So since last year, I see you've done a lot of metal work. You're working on your floors.
Yeah, the bad thing about new metal and old metal is whenever you drill it, you have a tendency to snap off drill bits, even if they are made from titanium. So, but this is the best rivet gun I've ever seen because the head pivots. So if you're in a place where you have to go sideways, but I kind of messed up. I put the left toe board on the right side and the right toe board on the left side, and I had almost cut too much to make the one that's on the right side now fit the left, but not so much that I couldn't use it back here on the left hand side. So I've gone in and I've pop riveted the corners, so when I go to weld it, it's going to hold the metal in place and I'll get a much better weld because I'm using a
Okay, so what are you're using just a flux core?
Just a flux core, and when you with the new metal and the old metal, it's hard to get a good bead because even though they say it's floor metal, it's not the same. It doesn't have the same chemical makeup, so it has just a slightly different melting point. So you have to do more spots, and then come back and grind it and lay it down, as you well know.
I found when I did mine, I found getting the old metal clean is really the hardest thing. If you can get the old metal perfectly clean and then get the two pieces as close to possible, and all I did, I just started with tacks and I came back in tack, 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 tack. It took forever, but I just had to do the metal here on mine. Ironically, my car's Canadian, as you know, but it was in much better shape. I think it was in the prairies. So you're doing well. The floors are coming together. So what's going to be your next item?
Well, it's going to be, once I get the floors in and welded, it's going to be the dash. You can see from the you can't see it here, but on the other side of it, from where the key ignition is all the way across, it's rusted. This car was of course made in Ohio, but sold originally in Atlanta, so it's always been a southern car. But this car sat for 15 years with the cracked windshield and all of the windows down, so it's rusted where it shouldn't be and isn't where it should be.
It's actually very, very strange that the dash would rot out on the bottom like that. I had a hole on the top of mine because obviously water sat on top, but the bottom of mine was pristine. It's kind of strange. So what you're saying, so you have a donor, the dash from the donor car, where you want to take a piece of this and put it in, or the whole thing?
What I'm going to try is, and you can see where it's rusted here as well.
Okay.
I'm going to take my cutter and go right along this seam and cut all the way across, and then pre-fit what's really bad inside to see if it's going to work. Because I have another dash it's in pristine shape, and I want to mess up on this one before I mess up on the other one.
That makes sense.
So that is, but I've left all the wires and things connected, so when I go to rewire things, I'm going to do all new wiring. I'm not going to use any of the old stuff anymore.
Okay, so I see a couple of engines here. So have you decided what engine you're going to go with the Comet?
Well, I'm not going to go with the Turd because that's only a 140.
So that was the 140 straight six. So you bought this but decided against this one.
Yes.
So you had a couple 302s laying around last time I was here, but I see some straight sixes.
This is the one that's from a 1968, according to the number here.
Okay.
It's a 68 out of a Maverick.
So this is what? This is a 250 or 170?
A 200.
A 200, okay.
The same engine they used to put up till just recently in pickup trucks.
Okay.
And you can tell by the amount of freeze plugs on the side. This one is from a 66 Mustang, and I bought this one so if one crank was good and the other one was bad, so I'd have some.
Okay, so
parts.
this is also a 200.
Yes.
Okay, so you've probably got more than enough parts here to make an engine out of these two.
Yes.
Okay, good. And you're planning on reusing the original Fordomatic?
Well, this one, I think also, somebody told me that it was a C4.
This is not, wait,
so
okay.
It's not a 2-speed Mercomatic.
This doesn't, okay, hold on now. I've done a C4. Okay. Just off, I'm not sure.
I'll take it to a transmission place to make sure that what it is. Because I wrote down all the numbers and took them to the guy. He said, well, I really need to see it to make sure.
This does not look like a C4 to me, but my memory is like an absolute sieve because I just did the C4 and I had an old Fordomatic that I threw out I went through this, but it was a little over a year ago. I would have thought, I'm thinking that this is the Photomatic, but I'm not 100% sure. He's got all the linkages here for the throttle and the...
Yes.
But who knows?
But that's what it is.
Okay. So we'll say bye-bye to my Canadian hood that's now going to live in Florida. I hope it has a good life here with the bare metal Comet. Well, we're leaving Michael's. It was a really nice visit. Got to look a little bit at his car and what engine he's going to use. The old bare metal shell. He stripped this down a couple years ago. It's still looking really good. He's going for the bare metal look, and hopefully the next time we visit he'll have even more work done. And if you're interested in this, check him out. Mac Street Garage, Michael Cope, good friend of mine. And he's giving me these, so I'm not leaving empty-handed. He's giving me these frame rails that will fit in my car. Mine are a little Swiss cheesy. And he's also given me a couple of other things, so we'll look at that too. Let's see what else we got from Michael. We got a complete trunk liner, brand new. I just finished mine with the carpet, but this is the proper one. Gave me a little Corvette parking only sign, and I got a Falcon parts book, so it'll come in handy for the Comet. So got these from Michael along with the rails. Pretty happy. It was a good trade.